Hey, what's going on, my people? What's going on? What's going on? Thank you for tuning in with Profe Gayu. I'm going to do a sound check. I did a sound check before, but it's always good to do a sound check afterwards to make sure everything is good. Hope you all had a good week, a good weekend. And I definitely had a good week and a good weekend. Hope you all had a great Thanksgiving, spending time with family and friends. Enjoy yourselves, taking time off of work and relaxing and all that. Check the levels and make sure everything is good. Levels are good. Audio was good. And now we in here. All right, so look here. There's a few things I want to talk about in this live. One thing I want to talk about, current events, a few things I want to talk about. So I'm going to see if I can get a few people in here. I got one person in right now. See if I can get someone else in. Give it a couple of minutes, and after that, we'll get started going over a few current events. And then I want to talk about stability in Dominican Republic, stability in Costa Rica, Mexico, and some other countries. So that's where we at. A sip of water. Man, it is hot here. It is hot here in Santo Domingo. The sun is strong and it's hot. So, what's going on with me? I just got back from spending time with the family, and I just walked back into my apartment literally like maybe 20 minutes ago, and I wanted to make sure I went live. So, moving to these countries, I moved here, and in the Dominican Republic, a lot of folks are looking to move, whether it's temporarily, like those what do you call digital nomads that basically spend some time in a particular country for a short period of time, and then what they'll do is they'll spend maybe a few months here, travel a few months there, and then a few months there, just for the experience and everything else, which is dope. If you can do that, I highly recommend you do it. That's a dope move. Me, because I got a family, I got to be a little more stable. So if I were to stay in a place, I would stay a lot longer. I know I'm on this YouTube thing, small YouTube channel. I don't do a lot of traveling. I'm not a travel YouTuber per se, but I live abroad. I live outside the U.S. I live outside the Matrix, and I take my trips every now and then. So, one thing I wanted to talk about was it's important for those folks who are looking to make the move, not those temporary travelers that just travel someplace for a small period of time, a short period of time, and then move to the next place, those digital nomads, because as you all know, a lot of countries right now are looking at digital nomad visas as an option to bring folks in so they can be in that country past that short period of that visa that they actually, or tourist visa they come in on. Surprisingly, the Dominican Republic has not created a digital nomad visa. Where you have a lot of countries in the Caribbean and Latin America have done so, but DR has not done so yet, which I think is they are behind the curve on that. Uh, but one thing I wanted folks to think about is specifically those folks who are expats, meaning they plan on spending a long period of time in another country. Is I highly recommend those folks think about the stability of that country. Sometimes we are fascinated by the people, the weather, the location, the beaches, and the culture and all that. But sometimes we forget about the importance of stability. And when you move to a country, you want to make sure that if you put money in the bank, that that money is going to be there the next day. If you buy an investment, whether it's a property or I said buy an investment, if you invest your money in a property or real estate or car business, whatever the case may be, you want to make sure that the value either stays the same or go up and not necessarily plummet because the country is unstable. That is really important. And I think a lot of folks forget about the importance of that. Some of us, many of us come from somewhat stable countries where it's not a second thought, right? But when we go to some of these countries to live a long period of time, we got to think about the stability and not just the economic stability, the government stability, because they both affect one another. I was having a conversation with a guy who was considering moving to Argentina. Argentina is a large country. I think it's it is the second largest country or country in South America. But Argentina is not stable. I mean, for the past 20 years, the Argentine peso has been plummeting, and it still is plummeting. So look, Argentina, I'm sure is beautiful. I've never been there. I'm sure it's beautiful. I'm sure it has a lot to offer, but it may not be the best move as far as investing your hard-earned money in that country, knowing the current situation of that country. So it's really important to look at economic stability. Now, for me, because I speak Spanish and because, wherever I go, if I were to live in a country, I prefer it to be, relatively close to the family, relatively within that time zone, not too far away from that time zone. It just makes things easier for my life. So I think, at least in this region, there are quite a few stable economies and stable governments. And I think that folks should consider those places. For example, utilize stable countries, stable economy, stable government. You have Chile is pretty stable, maybe not as stable as Uruguay, but Chile is pretty stable. You have Costa Rica. Costa Rica is one of the most stable countries in the region. You have Panama is stable, and you have some other countries that are also maybe less stable, but are pretty stable, but maybe less stable. Those countries will be like Mexico, less stable but stable. Colombia, less stable but stable. You'll have I'm gonna say you can probably even throw in Paraguay, throw in Brazil, less stable but still stable. And then you have maybe some even less stable countries. So what I mean by that is you're not going to be able to escape corruption, but you'll definitely be able to really analyze the environment to see if not only do I want to go to that country because I like the country, I enjoy myself there, but when you spend so much time in a place, you want to be investing your money. You want to make sure you invest your money in a relatively safe place. So I think it's really important to keep that in mind. I know I talk a little bit about, the importance of having having options last week on the live, exercising your options as far as having maybe a second residency or a second or third passport. Just are really good things to have, and also they're really good things that you can have and pass on to your kids and your family members. But one thing I think is important to know that people may not be aware of is that the Dominican Republic, despite what you may see on TV, or despite what you may see what's happening right now in the current events, but Dominican Republic is a country that is growing economically. It is becoming a more stable country. And I think because of that, despite whatever issues the country still may have, because of that, the country is moving into the right direction in that sense. And I would expect that this country will be getting a lot of more international attention. And if you look at the news right now or social media right now, you will see that attention, good or bad, in the media right now. And speaking of current events, I mean, I already talked about the whole advisory that the U.S. Embassy had put out, so I don't want to keep, beating a dead horse. And over the past week, after I talked about it, I've seen a whole lot of other folks touch on it and, leave out some really important parts, which is the reason why, the so-called reason why the U.S. government put it out there. However, there are still some political moves, I think, that the U.S. government is making against the Dominican Republic that is unrelated to the actual issue. So what I want to do, because I'm not going to have a long live, I want to make sure I touch on a couple of things to keep folks thinking about who in that travel space and looking to live outside the United States permanently, and making sure that they exercise their options and look at things from not just from one viewpoint, but just the all around, various perspectives, and really looking at the root of a country as a government and its economy, and looking at that and looking at how that affects everything else when they come to making a decision on which country they want to actually move to. Also, they got different visa and residency programs that one can take advantage of. So one should definitely look at what best works for their situation. Most definitely. All right. So I'm going to hit on some of the current events right now. Of course, right now you have the FIFA World Cup that's going on. I'm not really into soccer like that, but it's happening. Let's see what else we got going on here. A bunch of craziness, but I'm gonna get off real soon because I just wanted to touch on that one thing. But one of the big current events that really affects me here in DR is the situation in Haiti. And Haiti is going through a lot right now. I mean, pretty much the government is not in control. Uh, the it's a lot of chaos that's going on in much of the country, and man, I just feel for the Haitian people. I really do. But with that said, I do think whether some folks are in agreement or not, that something big soon is going to happen. And what is big is I project or I predict right now in this moment. You've seen this video that I'm doing right now, which is November 26th, I think it's 27th, that the global powers will intervene in Haiti and with the attempt to stabilize the country and input some sort of government to stabilize the country. So whether it's for good intentions, not a good intentions, or both, I predict that that is what's going to happen soon. I predict it. So I'm making this prediction on November 27th. X Jordan, what's going on, fam? What's going on? What's going on? Yeah, I predict that because really, like, it's been the issue in Haiti has been out of hand, and that definitely what's going on in Haiti definitely affects us in DR because we're on the same island, and you have a large Haitian population here, and I just really hope things get better real soon over there. But with that said, I predict that there'll be intervention within the global powers to intervene in the country, and with some sort of peacekeeping / military force, and they're going to pretty much take over the country just as it happened in Haiti about 100 years ago, just as it happened here in DR 100 years ago, and what was it, 60 years ago. So I definitely foresee that happen. You may not be in agreement with it. I understand, but I definitely see it happen. But hey, that's all I got. When you guys have any questions, anything at all, let me know. I'm jumping off now. I want to enjoy this beautiful Dominican day here in Santo Domingo. If you got any questions, let me know. Give it a like, subscribe, share with your family and friends. If you have any questions about anything about travel, if you plan on traveling and moving to a place permanently outside the country, about visas and residency and working toward getting citizenship, or if you have any questions about the DR, relocating to the DR, or anything about Santo Domingo, anything at all, I'm here to give information to help you folks so you can live the good life and enjoy your life. All right, that's all I got. Take care. Peace.